realize that things that you are getting are necessarily psychic or not psychic, or, pardon me, or anything like that. But I can remember talking to my guides a lot.
Out loud or in your telepathically or?
In my mind, we'd be laying on the hill. My house was on a hill. And we'd be laying on the hill, and I'd be making, I was a very lonely child, and I would be making cloud shapes, you know, as kids do. And they would be talking to me, and they would say, make that cloud disappear. And I'd say, how do you do that? They'd say, ask it to, concentrate and ask it to, and then it disappeared. It just stopped being a cloud. And, you know, just crazy things like that. They were my friends. And they would warn me if I was in danger. And they would warn me when my father was in a terrible mood so that I could make myself as scarce as possible. Or just, they would give me warnings about things. And I never thought about it. It was just always, my family always said to me, oh, you know how to wrap your father around your fingers. And I don't think that was it at all. I think that I intuitively knew when not to approach him and how to approach him because of my natural empathic abilities. And because of that, it appeared as though I could get him to say yes to things when perhaps they couldn't.
Did you see dead people when you were younger?
I can truly tell you, I have no idea. I can truly tell you that I don't know. If I did, I may not have realized that they were dead people. And I have zero memory of my life up until about the first grade. It's like the only memories I have, I think, are because people told me things, not actual memories. So I can't answer that. I don't know if I did anything particularly marvelous until I was probably in puberty.
Why do you think that you have these skills, and do you think everyone has potentially
Well, first
these
of all,
skills?
yes, I absolutely believe everyone has them. Years ago, I was going to do a lecture for an Episcopal youth group, and I realized that probably if I was a teenager, the first question I would ask me is, why do you have these abilities and what are they? And so I pulled over to the side of the road and I meditated and I asked my guides, I said, why me? Why do I have this so easily? It's like really natural for me and somebody else doesn't. And they said, because you're less civilized than most people. And I said, exactly what does that mean? And they said, when people are going through really dramatic incidents in their life, for instance, they're in a war scenario, or they're in a situation where they're running for their life or something, there is an instinctual thing that kicks in that helps them know, don't turn left, as opposed to horror movies. You get this feeling, don't do that. And that is coming from your own psychic abilities and your guides working with you. But we are shut down very early. Our parents make a statement to us like, oh, don't be lying, or there is no such thing as fairies. And what do you mean you see Grandpa? He's dead. All right? Kids at an early age do not want to be abnormal. They want to fit in. They want to get love. They want to get approval. So when the parent reacts to something that they're saying that is actually a psychic something, they stop doing it. They just shut this part of themselves down. But if you're living in a situation that is dangerous, an abusive situation, for instance, you might never shut that down. Whereas for the normal person, it becomes basically unnecessary, it's ignored. For a person that has to use it for survival, it stays. So that was the difference between me and somebody normal, is that I needed it. I kept it. But in addition, and I thought it was 6, I checked online and they said there was a huge epidemic of the Asiatic flu when I was 7. I got it. They thought I was going to die because I had an extremely high temperature for 3 days and I was in coma. And the doctor told my parents that if I made it out of the coma, I would either be brain dead or retarded. That's the word they used then. I know that's not acceptable now, but that was the word they used. Well, I'm neither that I know of. And what I do remember of that period in coma was I was with 2 people, big people, that were protecting me. And we would walk around the house together and they would talk to me and we would listen to what was being said. And every now and then we'd just go sit together in a place that I still don't know where it is. But if I had to guess, it's probably somewhere between this plane of existence and the other side. That there's like an intermediary waiting room or something. And I kept saying, I want to go with you. I don't want to go back. And they kept telling me, no, you have work to do and you must go back into the body. We're just letting the body rest right now. And then at some point I came back and I was fine. And it's after that that I had memories of having memories at all, to say the least. My clearest memories are actually about the age of 10 and up. So pretty much from before 10, my memories are either very vague or I think that they are memories of things told to me, but no clear memories at all.
So to address more the issue of everyone having psychic or
Uh-huh.
metaphysical abilities, could you maybe talk about that and what you suggest people do if they start to open up to things?
Well, if someone starts having feelings they can't describe, or whether they are incredibly light to extreme, the first thing they need to do is not panic. I've had too many people panic. The second thing they need to do is attempt to find somebody that knows what this is. Not usually a good idea to go to their personal doctor. Not usually a good idea to go to a psychologist or psychiatrist, because I think there are times when psychic ability is classified as mental illness. And I know that's absolutely true in the past. So I'm going to assume it's probably true now as well. And I have one incident of a friend whose 9-year-old granddaughter was diagnosed as being schizophrenic because she saw ghosts and she saw auras. And heard her guides talking. And one of the strongest definitive things about schizophrenia is hearing voices. So she's in a mental institution. And I would be willing to bet you she's just an exceptionally psychic child that opened her mouth to the wrong people. Started getting angry, started acting on her anger. When her family couldn't deal with her angry episodes, they took her to a psychologist or psychiatrist, who she unfortunately said she talked to dead people, and that got her institutionalized. And that makes me incredibly sad. So, don't panic. See if there are any metaphysical bookstores in your area that are reputable. See if there are any reputable metaphysicians in your area. And I know that's not going to be an easy thing, because in every profession there are sharks and charlatans. One of the ways that you'll know if somebody is reputable is they will not try to tie you into a situation that will cost you a lot of money. They will not tell you you have a curse and they can remove it for a lot of money. It will be, if you've got a true caring metaphysician, They will talk and listen to you and decide whether or not they can help you before you pay any money to see them. If the person immediately wants money from you, and I'm not saying it's wrong to want money and be paid. I'm not. I get paid. I am saying that you should have the chance to interview someone before you choose to employ them. And if they won't do that for you, then find somebody else. But don't try and run from it, and don't think you're crazy. Try to work with it. If you are crazy and you've got a reputable metaphysician, they'll know it and they'll suggest you seek psychiatry. They won't say hopefully they won't say you're crazy. They will say your issues are too big for me. This is something that I think you might want to seek clinical help for. And that's probably their way of saying this isn't a metaphysical issue, or if it is, it's gone deeper than that and become a severe psychosis.